So Sophie mentioned earlier that sustainability means different things to different people. So what do you see in your clients' preferences, and how do you accommodate their different levels of understanding?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So I tend to take the view actually that a lot of clients don't know to ask, and therefore very often it's advisor-led when you look at an advisor's bank of clients. So I suspect at the moment there's a huge amount of latent demand that isn't being provided for at the moment because the question isn't being asked. And back to the point I was making earlier about how you ask the question, I think how you frame the question makes a huge difference to the response that you get back from clients. So certainly I know with the advisors that we have, we've been playing around a bit with the questions we ask to give a bit of a pull as well as a push from the clients. Because some clients have approached us. So notably, we had two off the back of Glasgow COP last year who came to us and said, I want to restructure my entire portfolio to align with Paris 1.5. But actually, that's just two out of all of our clients. As soon as we started changing how we asked the clients what they cared about, that makes a huge difference to the numbers in terms of their engagement with this topic. We've done it in good ways and bad ways. We've played around with the questions we've asked. We've tried asking if a client wants to invest unethically as our launch, and you'd be surprised. Actually, there are some clients who do want to invest unethically, but they're in a tiny minority. And if you compare the splits with the splits that we see out there in the wider world, then it's clear that the question isn't being asked properly. So I think if we can get that solved, and I think some of the regulation will help with that because it will start to prompt. Then I personally, I just think there's this huge desire out there for this to be taken into account. Probably the most successful thing for us is just the framing of what is it that you don't want to invest into. I think the concept of an ethical investor comes with some baggage for a lot of people. So a lot of people would say, well, I'm not an ethical investor. If you say, is there anything you don't want to invest into? A lot of our clients have got personal stories about someone in the family who, maybe gambling was led to a bad outcome, or smoking. I mean, you can list off all the obvious stories that are probably latent in those client banks. And as soon as it's one thing they don't want to invest into, then they've shifted. They've moved into a whole different world of investing from where they were before. So look, maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is likely at some point to reach a tipping point where it becomes normal, and then impact perhaps is the sort of next level on, rather than unethical, ethical.
Yeah, great.